Hi, Chaitanya. Good afternoon.
Hello. మేము చేస్తామండి ఇంకా టైం ఉంది నేను వస్తాను థ్యాంక్ యూ నేను చెప్తాను తర్వాత హే Nuria, how are you?
Hi, Chaitanya. How are you? I'm good.
Good. Yeah. Just on some other call, yeah.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. The session should only start at around 5, so we'll make an announcement and then get started after that.
Sure. No problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Good afternoon, students, and welcome to our Future Ready Talent Office Hours session today. We are going to wait a couple of more minutes for some more students to trickle in, and then we'll get started with the agenda for today's session. In the meantime, for those of you who have joined our call, feel free to post your name, institution name, course, and specialization in the chat for us to get to know you better as well. But we'll get started in a few minutes, so just hold on. Thank you. Good afternoon, students. Thank you for joining our Future Ready Talent session with all of us from the FRT team to join you in our office hours. A couple of ground rules before we get started. Please ensure that your mics are on mute unless we've asked you to unmute yourself to ask a question or share a comment. For the agenda for today's meeting, we will essentially be doing a platform walkthrough for you. We do realize that a lot of students have questions about how does FRT work, how to go ahead with the project, how to complete any of the learning milestones. So we'll be showcasing all of that information to you in our session today. After that, we will open it up to question and answers. So if you have any questions about any of the processes or methods that you learned during the walkthrough call or that you have of your own questions as well, feel free to bring it in. Um, Before I go ahead and I'll just share my screen, let me know if you all can see my screen.
Yes, Nuria, we can.
Okay, great, perfect. Thank you. So to introduce myself, my name is Nuria. I work in the Future Ready Talent program. Alongside me, I have my colleagues Vaishnavi, Chaitanya, and Akhila, who have also joined me in today's office hour sessions. So we all will be on standby for you to answer any of your questions. As I'm going through the walkthrough of the platform, please feel free to drop in your questions in the chat. My team will be answering them while I conduct the walkthrough, and we'll also get to the questions after my walkthrough is completed, if there's anything else that comes up then. So with that, I'd like to introduce you again to our Future Ready Talent team, as well as to our program. So as you can see right now on my screen, this is a homepage that should be very familiar to all of you all. This is our Future Ready Talent homepage, which has all of the information about what is the Future Ready Talent program. We are a Brandon Hall Group Gold Awardee in 2022 for our learning and development excellence. We also have a very special video here, which is the Future Ready Talent Impact video. This particular video talks about all of our different stakeholders who are a part of the FRT team, as well as of the program as well. A part of this video is also a very special shout out to a couple of our students who have graduated from the program and how they landed their dream jobs as well. So this is a very inspiring video for those of you who don't want to learn a little bit more about the program and want to hear some students' thoughts on it as well. The program does have a series of affiliated partners. We are partnered, so Microsoft is partnered with Foundit, that is our platform partner, as well as with GitHub, ByteXcel, and NASCOM, which is through their Future Skills Prime initiative. Next on the homepage, you will find 8 different student benefits that have been highlighted for you. So if you go through all of them, each of these different opportunities are available to you through the Future Ready Talent program. We provide on-demand learning. We provide industry-aligned curriculum. We provide mentorship support, such as office hours, such as these. We provide you with career connections, community engagement, and finally, if there are any additional offers that are taking place at either Microsoft, at Foundit, or any of our other partners, we always share it with our FRT students before we share it with anybody else. So you are part of a very exclusive club of offer opportunities. Finally, exactly how does FRT work? So FRT is essentially a 4-step process. So if you can see on my page right now, we highlight each of the 4 steps, and I will do a deep dive and double click on each of the 4 steps. The first step is to complete your user profile, which I'm sure all of you at this point would have completed. Next is our self-learning. So all of the Microsoft courses that are available to you through the Future Ready Talent program, all of them are there on our self-learning tab. Third, we have our industry sessions. These are all pre-recorded video sessions that have been conducted through our industry partner about the relevance of utilizing Microsoft Cloud in different industries. And finally, and this is the area that I know a lot of you usually have a lot of questions on, this is on our project submissions. So our project is a requirement for you to graduate from the Future Ready Talent program. Without completing a project, you will not receive an internship completion certificate. Finally, on this page, we do have a couple of our alumni testimonials with all of their experiences written as well for you to hear more about. If you want to hear more about any other alumni testimonials, you can always scroll to the top of the page and click our Hall of Fame page, where you'll be able to see a lot more other students and their experiences with the Future Ready Talent program as well. So with that, I'll take you through what the next steps would look like if you're coming onto our landing page. First, you will click on either join for free if you have not joined before. In my case, since I have obviously previously logged in to the Future Ready Talent program, I'll be redirected to the sign-in page. So when you come to the sign-in page, you just have to input your registered email address as well as your password. So I'll go ahead and just input my details. In case you have forgotten your password, you can always click on the Forgot Password button and you'll be redirected to a page where you can input a new password. Secondly, in case you realize you don't have any account, you can always click on the register button and you'll be redirected to our registration page. After you input your registered email address and your password, you'll just click on sign in and you'll now be redirected to the first page of the Future Ready Talent program, which would be your user profile. So when you come here, you can see the first step of the user profile is that we ask for some of your personal details. So the reason why we ask for some of these details, for full name, we require your full name in order to print your internship completion certificate. We need to ensure that your name is printed accurately. Location, if we are offering any additional offers or promotions that are specific to your particular location, it helps us identify which students would be able to maximize use those particular promotions. Mobile number, and I'll get into inputting each of these fields in a little bit. But we ask for your mobile number so that we can identify you as a unique user on this particular page as well. The mobile number does require an OTP verification. So do ensure that you are inputting your own mobile number and not anybody else's who has previously logged into Future Ready Talent. If you are trying to register with somebody else's phone number, but the phone number is already registered with FRT, you will not be able to continue your registration process. So I'll just go ahead and input all of my details over here. I'm located in Mumbai, so I'll put in Mumbai City. I'll enter a test number here. And after you enter your mobile number, you have to click on the verify button, which will take you next to the mobile verification pop-up. So you usually get the OTP within a few seconds, but in case you don't, you can always click on enter the wrong number, or you can click on redo and you'll be able to get a chance to do it again. So I've entered the OTP that I have received. I'll click on verify and I'll get a pop-up saying that my mobile number has been successfully verified. Finally, I will be asked to identify my gender. So depending on what you are comfortable with choosing, I'm comfortable with choosing my female gender. So I'll go ahead and input that and click on the next option. Next, under user profile, we'll now get to all of your academic details. So over here, essentially, we're looking for your institution name, your course, what is your specialization, as well as the year of graduation. So I'll go ahead and input my institution's name. So as you can see over here, my institution name doesn't come up automatically in the dropdown, but there's still a free text, so I can still go ahead and input my details over here. I have completed a Bachelor of Arts, so I'll go ahead and put that. My specialization was history, so I'll go and add history, and my year of graduation was 2022. One call out I would like to do is that the Future Ready Talent Program is not linked to any specific specialization or course that you might be doing. In my case, as you can see, I'm a history student, but I still have equal opportunity and access to complete the Future Ready Talent Program. So there's no prerequisite that is required for you to complete your journey in this program. So after I've completed all of these details, I'll click on next and I'll be directed to the final page, which is the internship details. The first one is program joining code. This is not a required field. It depends on if your institution or if you're part of any particular learning program partner, they would automatically be providing you with a program joining code. So you will go ahead and enter that here. Again, this is not a required field. We do ask you to sign up to Zuno. So some of you might ask, what is Zuno? Zuno is essentially the freshers hiring platform created by Foundit. So the reason why we do ask you to sign up on Zuno is because all of your job alerts and job opportunities will be coming through the Zuno platform. So by having your email address, it makes it easier for us to send promotional content linked to job opportunities as well. So since I have registered on Zuno, I'll go ahead and just input my details here. Next, we asked for your LinkedIn account. The reason why we do ask that is we do want to create a LinkedIn community of all of our FRT students, and we want to be able to assist you with job opportunities as well. We are partnered with LinkedIn to ensure that we are giving you those career connections. So I'll go ahead and just input my details here. So just give me 1 second. Okay. And finally is the Future Skills Prime email. The Future Skills Prime is the initiative by both METI and NASCOM. We do offer a couple of courses on their particular learning platform as well. So we do want to ensure we're giving you credits for completing those courses. And in order for us to track that, we do require your email address to be able to do that as well. So I'll go ahead and input my details here. After you've completed all of your details, just click on submit, and you now would have officially completed the first step of the FRT program, which is your user profile. I will now be redirected to the self-learning page where we will be asking you to fill in your Microsoft Learn details. So I'll get a pop-up saying that I've completed my user profile, and I'll now be redirected to the learning page. While we wait for the page to load, just one call out I do want to call out, and I know a lot of you have questions about this, is that after you have completed your user profile, so you've completed all of those details that we just completed, you will automatically receive an email from alerts@futurereadytalent.in in your registered email address with your student developer pack from GitHub. So please be on the lookout because this is an automatically triggered email. So if I were to go into my email inbox right now, I would have received the GitHub student developer pack. So just be on the lookout as soon as you complete your orientation or your user profile. Next, I come onto the self-learning page. And you can see the first thing that pops up is a pop-up asking for your Microsoft Learn profile link. So the reason why we ask for your Microsoft Learn profile link is because all of the learnings that you do on the Microsoft Learn page needs to get accurately reflected back into your FRT profile as well. Without having this information, we will not accurately be able to give you credits for completing the course modules that you might have. In case you don't know where to go to find your MS Learn profile, you can click here and you'll be redirected to a PDF that'll tell you exactly where to find your MS Learn profile. In case you have never signed up for any Microsoft product before, you can click on this button which says sign up if you are new to Microsoft, and you'll be redirected to a page where you can complete your registration process. Just a call out, the email that you sign up with on Microsoft versus the email that you sign up with on Future Ready Talent doesn't necessarily need to be the same email address. It's easier for you in terms of your own memory to remember which ones you have registered where, but it's not a requirement. So I'll go ahead over here and I'll input my MS Learn details. Make sure you're accurately inputting your details and not somebody else's, because we do conduct a validation of this particular field. So if you're inputting any wrong details, it will result in an error message. So I've gone ahead, inputted my details, and I'll click on submit. And it says that it is not valid. So let me go ahead and check. Um, okay, just give me a second. Okay, so just give me 1 second while I just figure out why this is not getting accepted. In the meantime, if you have any questions as well, we can also take any questions that you might have in the chat as well.
Nuri, I think we had one question from Gausia Begum.
Go ahead.
Gausia, yeah, if you can unmute yourself and then ask your question, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah,
Actually,
please
I
ask your
have
question.
used my ISECO credits, all those credits in the month of August to complete some Microsoft challenges.
Okay.
I have used all those credits, and I got the mail for this internship on October 26, I guess. And I thought I would get few more credits for this internship, but I didn't get. How can I complete my project?
Gausia, in order for you to complete your project, you will require your Azure credits. So, but if you've utilized all of them,
Yes,
you'll
ma'am.
have to wait 12 months before you will get a fresh set of $100 Azure credits. Unfortunately, this is just how the rules are for the Azure Student Developer Pack. So this is out of our hands. Additional credits would then need to be purchased, but that's not within the guidelines of the Future Ready Talent Program. So I can't go ahead and say that it's a requirement for that.
Okay, ma'am. But 12 months means like I will get. I have taken these credits in the month of June, July, I guess. So then my internship deadline is January.
That's okay. Like if your internship deadline is later, if you write to our support desk, we can give you an updated deadline based on the case that you are just describing to me. But if you have already utilized your $100 Azure credits, unfortunately, there's nothing additional we can do because we're providing the $100 for students to use for this particular program itself. So if you're utilizing it for something outside of the FRT program, that's something that you have to do separately.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah,
Actually, before
apologies for
this only
that.
I have taken these credits. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Apologies, like I'm not sure about the timeline or how the program is running for you. But for students, we provide $100 free Azure credits. As soon as you join the program, you get access to that. And the intention is that you utilize those $100 we provide to complete your FRT journey. But if it's been used before that, you may need to reach out to your institution that has given you this invitation or find out from them what next is possible.
I have taken this from GitHub Developer Pack.
Yes, so
I
you
have
would have,
applied for GitHub Students Benefit.
correct, but you would have gotten that
Hmm?
outside of the Future Ready Talent program, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Using GitHub, they were like there were many promotions in the YouTube channels that students can get credits and all using GitHub Pack. I have used that in
Correct.
order to
So,
complete
Gausia,
some
just to
challenges for as a.
correct. So, Gausia, to your point, this is not linked to the Future Ready Talent program. If you have independently and privately gone and collected a GitHub student developer pack and you have independently completed challenges, um, we can't we can't assess that
Yes.
information. So that would be on you to ensure that you have your $100 credits that we provide to all students at the start of this program. If you have already utilized your credits before you've even begun your Future Ready Talent program, then you will need to wait the 12 months in order to complete the FRT program and get a new set of $100 credits.
Okay, ma'am. No, I should write mail to extend my deadline.
Yes, so you can write to our support desk. They're on the chat. Just go ahead and do that, and they can take care of your issue as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. So students, we'll continue with the walkthrough of the Future Ready Talent program. If you have any other additional questions, please keep posting it on the chat. My team will answer. After we've completed the walkthrough, we will go ahead and open it up to question and answers as well. So as you can see over here, we have now reached the self-learning page. And right now, if you see on your screen, you'll get a cubicle with the information with your name as well as what your internship deadline is. Please note your internship deadline is 80 days, 80 days from the date you register. What exactly does the internship deadline mean? It means that you have to submit your FRT project well within the internship deadline and also give yourself a gap of 15 days in order for you to get evaluator comments on how your project was. So if you are going to submit your project on say 10th of February in my case, and I'm hoping that the first attempt itself that I submit my project, it will get approved, that's great. It doesn't necessarily always happen. There's always room for improvement. There might have been some mistake I have done in my project, which means that when I get my evaluation back, I am already past my internship deadline. So I need to ensure that when I submit my project, I aim to do it towards the end of January so that I have enough time to get feedback from the evaluators and also enough time in order to do a resubmission should I require to do so. So just keep that in mind. Now we come onto the self-learning page, and over here you can see our courses have essentially been bucketed into three different categories. The first is our fundamental courses, second is our advanced courses, and third is our GitHub course. So if you click on fundamentals, we have two courses that come under fundamentals. One is our AZ900, which is Azure Fundamentals, and second is our Azure AI Fundamentals. You'll notice that a couple of courses have an asterisk mark next to it. This is a mandatory course in order for you to gain any academic credits. This is not a compulsion for you to get an internship completion certificate, but if you or your institute have asked you to complete this program as part of an academic curriculum, you will be required to complete all of the courses which are marked with an asterisk. So when you click on any of the courses, you'll see a full list of all of the course modules that come under that particular course. You'll see the duration of that particular course as well. You can click on course info and all of the information regarding that particular course will come up as well. And you can click on any of the course modules and you'll be redirected to the Microsoft Learn page. So you'll see a pop-up like this appear saying in order for you to complete the course, you have to make sure that you are logged into your MS Learn profile. If you're not logged into your MS Learn profile when you begin the course module, we won't be able to give you accurate credits for having completed that course. So you'll click on Proceed to Course, and you'll now be redirected to the Microsoft Learn page. Now, as you can see over here, I've reached the Microsoft Learn page, but I've not clicked on Sign In, which means any of the learning that I now do on this page will not accurately be reflected back onto my Future Ready Talent portal or within my Microsoft Learn profile as well. So it's very important for you to click on sign in with your details, and then start your learning on this page. Like this, we have advanced courses as well. We have a total of 5 advanced courses. We have AZ104, which is a mandatory field for academic credits. We have Azure Developer, which is AZ204. We have Azure Security, which is AZ500. And then the last 2 courses we have are on Microsoft Power BI, which is PL300, as well as Azure AI Engineer Associate, which is AI102. The same process applies here as well. You will just click on this particular course module and you'll be redirected to the Microsoft Learn page, which has all of that information. Lastly, we have our GitHub course. Within GitHub, we have only one course. So you can see all of this information over here with each of the modules. So while the GitHub course, as you can see over here, is not mandatory, we encourage you to do the GitHub module, especially if you've never worked with GitHub before, because you will be required to host your FRT project on GitHub. So if you don't have any information or knowledge on how to utilize GitHub, this will be a good learning place for you to go ahead and start this process. So this is essentially what the self-learning page looks like. We'll then move on to the industry session tab. So under industry sessions, we have 5 different videos that are available to you that have been created by our industry partners. In each of these videos, in each of these videos, just give me a second. Yes, okay. In each of these videos, you'll notice essentially how we can utilize Microsoft Cloud in any of the industries that are presented here. This is important for you to understand how to utilize the learning that you have done on self-learning in a real-world application. So the first video that is there is our Microsoft Azure overview. So it gives an overview of the cloud and its usage in real-world applications. Next, we have 4 different industries that are there for you to learn from. The first one is on BFSI, which is banking and financial services. Next is on sustainability. Third, we have EdTech, which is education technology. And lastly, we have on the healthcare industry. All of these videos need to be watched on this particular page. So if you click on play, make sure you are active on this page and you're not scrolling the internet, you're not scrolling other tabs and keeping this running in the background. You will not get credits for having completed the video. So it is a requirement for you to be active and listening to this particular video on this page itself. In case you want to download the presentation for your own knowledge, or if you want any additional reference material, you can click on these 2 buttons and a zip folder will download with all of the reference materials required for that particular industry sessions video as well. So this is a total of all of the information that is available to you on the industry sessions page. Finally, we reach the project tab, and this is, I know, the most asked about tab in our FRT project. So when you come onto the Future Ready Talent project tab, the first thing you will notice if you're a new user is you'll see a pop-up asking for your GitHub profile URL. Now, the reason why we ask for your GitHub profile URL is because we do ask that you upload your FRT project on GitHub, which is why it's important for us to have access to your repository in order to check whether the project is genuinely yours and if you've completed the project in its entirety. So I'll go ahead and I will input my GitHub details. Hopefully this works. Check. Make sure also that the details you provide are accurate and it is your own GitHub account. If it's not, and you click on submit, an error message will appear because we do a validation of this particular information. So I'll click on submit and I get a success message saying that the GitHub profile URL has been updated. I'll click on OK. And now I come onto the project page. On first instance, you will see the new pop-up that we have put out as of 20th of November, in which we've updated our project guidelines as well as project requirements. So for those of you who were part of our call yesterday, and for those of you who might be joining today's session alone, a major update that we have done in our FRT platform is we have started to incorporate an AI service in your project. So what exactly does that mean for you as a student? If you have not yet submitted your project and you would be a first-time project submitter, for you, it is a requirement and a mandatory step to include one AI service in your project, in addition to the two core Azure services that we have historically been asking all students, which means a total of 3 Azure services now need to be a part of your FRT project. For students who are doing any resubmission of projects, for you, the AI service field is an optional field. So it's not a requirement for you to add an AI service into your project, but if you would like to and you would like to expand on your knowledge, there's no bar on that. But it is an optional field for you. I do want to call out a promotional campaign that we are running for all students just for this particular time period. The first 1,000 students to successfully submit their FRT project and get it approved with one valid AI service included in their project do stand a chance to win a Microsoft branded t-shirt. So this is a limited time offer. So I would recommend you to please start thinking about utilizing an AI service in your project and incorporating it in such a way that your project becomes more dynamic and more successful. So this is limited time offer. The final decision does rest with the FRT team, and there are terms and conditions. But do encourage your friends and encourage your other colleagues to also join the program and in order to receive this Microsoft branded T-shirt as well. A second update that has also happened is we've noticed a lot of students have been submitting projects that are either copied or duplicate projects. So you might have found a template online and you want to essentially copy and paste that same template for your FRT project. That will no longer now be allowed. So if you are to submit a duplicate or copied project for 3 consecutive times, after your third attempt, you will be disqualified from the Future Ready Talent program. What does disqualification mean? With a disqualification of the program, your account will be blocked and you will no longer be able to access the Future Ready Talent portal. We realize this is a very harsh step, but we do want to encourage all of you to think innovatively and think outside of the box when you're creating your projects. So by copying or borrowing templates that are already available on the internet and not making any changes, you're not giving us anything new. So we don't have any information or any ability to evaluate you for any uniqueness that you might be bringing. So these are a couple of our updated project guideline informations. If you have any questions about project guidelines, you can always click on our project guidelines document and it'll redirect you to our PDF, which has all of the details of what I just spoke about as well. So you'll see this pop up every time you come onto the project page for now. So when you come onto the project page, you'll see a project checklist and guidelines. So some of the things that we do recommend is you do go through most of the industry sessions as well as complete your self-learning so that you have maximum amount of knowledge and you're equipped to be able to start building your FRT project. Secondly, we do have a YouTube channel which hosts all of our previously recorded mentoring sessions for you to be able to understand and learn from our mentors on how to go about creating your projects, how to add AI services to your projects. All of that information is available on our YouTube channel. So feel free to go ahead and look at all of the videos that we've had from past to present. Second, as I mentioned, also the GitHub Student Developer Pack. So while the GitHub Student Developer Pack is automatically emailed to you after you've completed your user profile, in case you are not able to find it or you're not sure if you actually went ahead and claimed your GitHub Student Developer Pack, you can always click on this particular button and you'll be again triggered to receive the email with the Student Developer Pack. Just note, if you click on this button, but you have already redeemed your GitHub Student Developer Pack, an error message will appear saying that you have already claimed your GitHub Student Developer Pack and would share with you the email address from where it would come from, which is alerts@futurereadytalent.in. So please do be on the lookout. It's a one-time usage. As I was mentioning to one of your peers on the call, if you have already claimed your GitHub Student Developer Pack and you've already utilized the free $100 Azure credits that you get along with the GitHub Student Developer Pack, we do not grant any additional credits beyond that. So please be mindful about how you utilize your Azure credits. Be mindful that you get only $100 credits per 12 months. So if you have utilized your $100, but you still want to go ahead and complete your project, you will unfortunately need to wait another 12 months before the $100 is replenished in your account. So just be mindful for that. Now, within the project, you can choose to either do an individual project or a group project. If you choose to do a group project, you need to ensure that all other group members have also registered onto the Future Ready Talent program. If they have not registered onto FRT, they will not be eligible to join your group. Each group can have a maximum of 4 students a part of it, including the group rep. So what essentially would happen for a group rep is that you would add all of the team members who you would like in your particular project. And I'll just go ahead and show you how that looks like. So within the team members, of course, my name would be there as the group rep, and I would add all of the other members that I would like in my project. After I've added all of their email addresses over here, I will click on I agree to the details shared by me as correct and as per the guidelines, and I'll click on create team. After I click on create team, an automatic message is triggered to each of the other group members with an invitation on whether they would like to accept or reject the invitation to be a part of your group. So it's not an automatic assumption that because you have created the team, all team members will also automatically join your group. They do need to accept or decline the invitation they have received. So in my case, since right now I'm only an individual, I'll go ahead and create an individual project. So under individual project, the first thing you'll see is the project synopsis. So under project synopsis, we have a couple of different fields that are available that you do need to fill out. All of the fields that have an asterisk next to them are a mandatory field for you to complete. So I'll go ahead and I'll input some details regarding the project that I want to create. Um, I want to create a project where I can track a student's carbon footprint. So I'll add that information. What is the problem statement or opportunity I'm looking to address by creating this? So what exactly is the business solution or issue, that a real world problem that I would like to address by creating this project? So in my case, the problem statement is students are utilizing too much of carbon, how to reduce this. Next, we ask for a project description. So under project description, do add all of the key features that are linked to your project. The reason why we ask this is that it's important for you to submit all of these details, because when we do conduct your evaluation of your project, we map whether all of these different things you have mentioned in project descriptions are accurately reflected in your final project as well. So in my case, and just for the purpose of this test, I'll just add a couple of key features. Um, Next, I need to add two core Azure services. So as I mentioned just a few minutes back, since I am going to be a first-time project submitter, I now have a mandatory AI service I need to add to my project, as well as two core Azure services that I need to add as part of my project. So a total of 3 Azure services need to be working in my project. So in my case, I'll go ahead and choose static web apps, and I want to work with some data sets. So I'll add Data Factory. Next is the AI service I would like to use. So in my case, I want to add an Azure AI bot service to be able to answer questions anybody might have of my project. In case you're planning to use any other Azure technologies, you can always go ahead and add those details here in the free text. If you're not sure about Azure services and which ones are linked to your particular project, you can always click on the click here option and you'll be redirected to a Microsoft page, which has a full list of all Azure services that are available for you. If you're not confident about submitting your project synopsis as yet, you can always click on Save as Draft and you can come back and edit it later. In my case, I think I'm pretty confident, so I'll go ahead and click on the Submit button. I've now clicked on Submit, which means now the project submission tab has become available to me. Please note that your project submission tab is only available if you have not already crossed your internship deadline date. If you have crossed your internship deadline date, this project submission tab will not be accessible for you. So the first thing is the project link. The project link is essentially your GitHub repository URL, which hosts your particular project. So I'll go ahead and add my repository. Next is the project demo URL. The project demo URL is essentially your project's URL itself. All of the information that you have created and your end product would essentially be in this particular demo URL. So I have created a website. See if it works. And finally, we request for a project demo video URL. This essentially is a video of you demonstrating your project to us. We do request that in your project demo video URL, it's no more than 10 minutes, and you give us a thorough walkthrough of not just your project, but also of the Azure portal and all of the services that you have used. The reason why we ask this is that we find that many students, your Azure credits get expired before evaluation can happen of your project, which means we have no way of accessing your project anymore. However, if you have added all of these details in both your GitHub repository under the README file with screenshots or under the project demo video URL of the Azure portal and services used, we will be able to give you full credits for having completed the project successfully. So this is very important. So please don't miss out on adding these details to both your GitHub as well as your project demo video URL. So I'll go ahead and add my video details here. So your video can be hosted on any platform. In my case, I've put it up on YouTube, but it can be a Google Drive, it can be a SharePoint drive, in any format, as long as it's a working video. After you've added all of these, you just click on I hereby declare that all details shared by me is my original work. This is very important. As I mentioned, we are looking to disqualify students who do not submit original work or copied or borrowed content. So do make sure you are submitting accurate details with active links as well. If you're not sure about submitting it right away, you can always do the option of save as draft. I think I've submitted all correct links, so let's try. I will click on submit, and it says my project demo URL is invalid, which means I will need to update my URL. So let me just put in and see if this would work. So now the project has been submitted for evaluation. I will not be able to edit the project. I will click on OK if I'm confident. And now the project has been submitted to our evaluators. Please note that evaluation can take a maximum of 15 days. So do wait and plan how and when you submit your project, keeping in mind it can take a maximum of 15 days for all evaluations to be completed. After I've completed that, I have completed the Future Ready Talent Program. I will now wait for a decision in my inbox whether or not I have been accepted and approved my project, or if I have been rejected for my project, in which case I will need to do a resubmission. Students, you receive 5 attempts to do your FRT project. So in case it fails in the first attempt, you still have 4 more attempts in order to successfully submit your Future Ready Talent program. Your project. Lastly, on this page at the bottom, you will see 3 different buttons that are available to you. One is we do have a GitHub discussion board. You can always come onto the GitHub discussion board, ask your questions. Both our mentors as well as your colleagues from the program are there to answer questions, or for you to see if there are any questions that you might have asked that somebody has already asked in the past. Second is our help desk, and I know my colleague has also been posting it on the chat as well. If you have any questions about the program or you're stuck at any point, our help desk is support@futurereadytalent.in. So you can write to us at any time and we will get back to you. And thirdly is in case we have any exclusive offers that are coming from any of our partners that are associated with the program, all of that information will be available on this tab as well. Finally, at the bottom, you will see an FAQ section as well. You can click on this and all of the major questions, especially linked to the walkthrough that I've just done for you today, all of those questions are available for you on this tab as well. This is the total of what the Future Ready Talent program looks like. If you successfully complete your Future Ready Talent program, you will receive a certification of completion. So your certificate will look something like this. It is signed by all of our partners, and it will have your name as you have shared with us on the FRT platform itself. So I'll pause here. This is a total of our walkthrough, and we'll open it up for questions if there are any.
Students, please raise your hand for the questions, and then we will go on one by one with your questions.
Okay, I'll just take a look at some of the questions in the chat as well. I know my colleagues have been answering on the chat, but in case there are any questions.
Nuria, I know for a
Yeah.
fact that Kishore is one student who had
Okay.
questions regarding a few things. Kishore, would you mind coming up and then asking your question, please?
Sure, if you're on the call, otherwise I can also go through the question if your audio is not working.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Kushir, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, ma'am. I have hosted my web app on Azure Static Web Apps and
Okay.
integrated a chatbot also, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Due to my credits consumed completely and my subscription also disabled. And after submitting my project, before submitting my project, ma'am, and I asked at the chat, and someone replied, I had some screenshots about the resource group, and uh, and also I made it, and still rejected.
Okay, so Kishore, just to understand, you added your screenshots in your README file and your project was still rejected. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaitanya, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, yes, yeah. Kishore, like I just like saw your GitHub file and README file. You just added two screenshots. Please try to add more information about the screenshots, like just like not only adding the screenshots out there. Please also try to add details about the screenshots and how you have used those resources. As you mentioned, like you have finished your credits of your chatbot, that will be fine. Still works with us. Please add more information about your project and the services that you have been used Azure, and what you have learned and how you have been utilized the services, so that we can able to give a glance and we can able to approve your project. There is nothing rejected. You can still able to upload your details in the GitHub, more details in the GitHub, so that we can able to review it and we can able to come back to you with necessary
Ye-
things.
Yes, sir. But my deadline was completed at November 18. Still, I can do it, sir.
So Kishore, just write to support at futurereadytalent.in asking for a project extension and the reason why you are asking for a project extension. And our support team will look into your case and grant you the extension if required. So just please go ahead and do that.
Okay, sir. I write mail to it, sir.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jaswant, would you want to ask a question?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
So I
We
see a lot.
did, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So we did have one question from
yeah, yeah.
Shiv, and I know that I asked him to park that question so that
Okay,
he could
okay.
ask it, to everyone in the call. Shiv, would you want to unmute yourself and then ask your question, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in March 2023, I have applied for internship, but I have not complete that internship. But in this time, I have want to complete this internship, but I have seen previous deadline, March 2023.
Okay, so Shiv, for you and a lot of other people are also asking the same question in the
Yes,
chat.
ma'am.
If your project deadline has lapsed, please
Yes.
write to support at futurereadytalent.in explaining why is it that you could not complete the internship on time. If we feel that your reason is a valid enough reason, we will provide you with an extension so that you can complete all of your learning and submit your project. But it is on a case by case scenario. So not everybody gets an extension. We do need to assess and understand what the reason was why you could not complete your internship when you registered.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. No problem. And a lot of other students, you're also asking the same question. The exact same answer is applicable to all of you. Please do write to our support desk. We're there to understand your case and understand what may have happened that might have resulted in the deadline being lapsed for you. And we'll go ahead and provide you an extension if we think it is valid enough.
All right, Nuria. So I have another question for you,
Yeah.
ma'am. I have already had the Future Ready Talent internship user profile completed, but in the project submission section, it shows that the deadline is lapsed. So what can I do in this case?
So, Vaishnavi, this is the same thing. I've already just
Right.
addressed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have a question from Aditi. Can I know about the course completion which is present? So Aditi, if you go onto your self-learning tab, you'll see a list of we have 8 different courses that are available. 2 are under fundamentals, 5 are under advanced, and 1 is under GitHub. You can go ahead and complete any of the courses in whichever order you would like. We recommend you do fundamentals and then advanced and then GitHub, but it's based on your own learning. It's not mandatory to complete the learning, but if you are looking for academic credits, it is mandatory. We do encourage you to complete at least one course because it will help you in completing the project, in understanding how to go ahead and start with your FRT project as well. So we do recommend that you do go ahead and complete the learnings as well. Thank you. Any other questions? So Chaitanya, we have a question. I'm not sure if you might be able to answer. We
Yes.
have a question from a student called Rohit who's asking that he has a concern regarding whether Azure will help in any way for data restructuring, like we do on Excel, especially in the field of finance.
I think
Um,
yes, like Rohit, like there are a lot of features in Azure also where you can able to play with the data restructuring, and like Azure AI services are there, which we can able to, which you can also use in the finance, which a lot of data sets are using with the students, they're calculating and everything doing. Yes, it will be helpful for you. Yes, Nuvia.
okay, great.
Uh, we
Any
do have
other?
one question
Yeah, yeah.
that I have completed my self-learning, but it shows in progress. This is one of the most common questions asked in the chat.
Sorry, can you just repeat the question, Vaishnavi? I think it just blocked for a bit.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So this is one of the most common questions asked in the chat here, that I have completed my self-learning modules, but
Okay.
in the portal it still shows in progress. And why is that?
Okay, so for students who are asking that, do note that it takes 48 hours for your learning to be reflected on the FRT portal as well. So if you have completed your learning on Microsoft Learn and you immediately go back to the Future Ready Talent portal, you won't immediately see that update being reflected on your account. It does take 48 hours for the information to sync. That is one reason why you might not be able to see that being reflected immediately on your FRT account. The second reason, and as I was mentioning in the walkthrough video as well, if you have not signed in on Microsoft Learn, when you are doing your learning, all of that learning does not get tracked, which is why it's very important that when you come onto the Microsoft Learn page, you do ensure that you are signed into your account, and then you begin all of the learning that you have to complete. If you have not signed in, it will not be reflected on either the Future Ready Talent portal or on your MS Learn profile. So I hope that answers the question.
Right. Also, students, you need to check that the learn profile that you are checking versus the learn profile that you have uploaded on the FRT portal needs to be same, because sometimes it also happens that students create several Microsoft Learn profiles and then they don't know which one they have uploaded. And then there is a mismatch, and then that sync does not happen. And then they complain that, the self-learning modules is not getting updated. So make sure that the one that you're checking versus the one that you've uploaded on your user profile is always the same.
Correct, correct. Thank you. We'll take one last question. I know we are over time. I see, Rohit, you have your hand up if you want to come off on mute and ask your question. Rohit, if you'd like to go ahead, or if you want to post your question in the chat.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Rohit.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, my concern is regarding basically the technical part. Actually, I'm a finance student, and I don't require data pull out from the NSE website, which contains around like lakhs of rows. Okay. So I just want to see that if there is any kind of scope in Azure that I can implement the Excel activity into Azure for the all processes.
Chaitanya, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of features in Azure also where you can able to import a lot of data. I'm not sure about that exact the functionality means, but I can able to check back and let you know in your support team so that we can able to answer to you.
Yes, so actually what happens is with the Microsoft Excel or the Power BI or the Power Query Editor, if we refer that, then it hangs a lot. Okay, I mean specifically if I'll boost up the RAM or anything, because the data quantity is so much, it contains data of an year for the mutual fund analysis. So I just want to see if this finance structure part can help it out using the Azure one.
See, that's what like I think there are a couple of functionalities in Azure AI data lakes or something. I'm not exactly sure about the that functionality to you to answer to you right away, so that I can able to check and I can come back to Noji or support desk Vaishnavi support desk so that they can able to help you out in a proper answer.
So, Rohit, just a request. After this call, if you can just drop an email to support at futurereadytalent.in with your question, and we'll direct it to one of our Azure specialists who will get an answer and revert back to you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, will do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great. So, students, I think with that, we will wrap up today's session. Thank you all for joining. We are conducting regular AI mentoring sessions for students, especially in regards to adding an AI service to your project. It's held every Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So it's a very convenient time after college for all of you to join. So please do continue to join those sessions. We will also continue to be having our FRT office hour sessions, so you can drop in at any time and ask your questions. So do stay tuned for that. And we will ensure that all of the questions that you've asked today, in case they have not gotten answered in today's call, please do write to support at futurereadytalent.in, and we will pick it up with the concerned party and get you the correct answer. But thank you again for joining today's session and look forward to seeing you again. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Hmm.
ఉమ్, టీచర్ కొట్టలో ఇరిచేసింది 2 చేతులతోటి ఉంచేసింది. ఉమ్, అది ఎక్కడ వదిలేసున్నా బాగుండేది. అది ఎక్కడ వదిలేసున్నా బాగుండేది. నేను నా పెన్ను ఓదుకుంటున్నాను. ఉమ్. నీ దగ్గరికి ఏం రాలే, నా పెన్ను ఆగిపోయిందని ఊదాను. మరి అట్లా అలా ఎలా ఇచ్చేస్తాం, పెట్టుకుంటారు. అవి ఇచ్చిరియచ్చు. ఉమ్, ఉమ్. ఆవిడ చెప్పుంటది. ఇదైతే ఏంటో వెనకాల సౌండ్ ప్లే అవుతుంది ప్లే అవుతుంది.